welcome to Freshly Served, the healthy vegan cooking show. I'm Heather, and tonight we're going to make some maple Dijon lentils, which is always a nice way to dress up your lentils. They are a very fast cooking legume, so you can get some protein, some fiber, some folic acid, all that good stuff with a rather quick cooking method. So I've got these lentils on. I've brought them to a boil. I've got a cup of dry lentils, enough water to make sure that these guys are fully covered. Doesn't matter really how much water you put in as long as there's enough, because you can always drain the excess off. And they're going to take about half an hour to cook. So while they're cooking, we can get our beets going, which a medium-sized beet is like that. Now, I've got pretty small hands. Phil often laughs at my hands, how small they are. But I don't know, as much beet as you want to eat, right? So what we're going to do is get them in a pot, leave them whole, okay? You cut the greens off, but leave the tail on and leave the skin on for now, because otherwise all of the beet flavor is going to leach right out into the water. And mine are giving me a bit of a challenge on fitting into this pot, but I think I can do it. Let's see what we got here. Okay, there we go. So they're all fit in there. The tails go in as well. And what I can do is cover them with water to halfway up. And what this does is it partially boils them. I got a little bit too much there. Partially boils them, but mostly they're cooked by steaming. So you get minimal loss of nutrients and really great flavor. It doesn't lose its flavor to the water. Then I'm going to just sprinkle a tiny little bit of salt on top and just rub it on the skins. You can get the skins wet. Now the purpose of this is to facilitate the cooking process, as salt usually does. Then these tails just don't want to stay in here. Stay. Okay. Then we put the lid on, and of course the lid isn't going to want to keep the tails on either, but work with what you got. And then I'm going to put it over here, bring it to a boil, and as soon as the water starts boiling, I can turn it down a little bit. So the lentils were taking 30 minutes, and I got them started first. The beets will take probably 15-20 minutes, but you can just cook them to whatever softness you like. Some might like a little bit less cooked, a little bit crunchier beet. Some might like a really soft beet, in which case go for the full 20 minutes. While these are cooking, we can get together our Dijon maple, is that what it is? Yeah, maple Dijon dressing. So we'll start with a little bit of Dijon mustard here, like so. And I'm going to use flax oil today. Flax oil is extremely rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which are essential in your diet, meaning that you need to get them by eating them, and your body can't produce them. There are only two fatty acids that are essential, omega-3 and omega-6. The reason omega-3 gets all the attention because it's not in a lot of things, whereas omega-6 is in almost every unsaturated vegetable oil. And the trouble is, we need to get the proper ratio of omega-3 to omega-6, and because it's in every other oil, the omega-6 is way overrepresented. So getting some omega-3 is definitely a good idea, and this is a nice way to do it because we're not going to be heating the oil, where the flax oil cannot be cooked with. That's the downside of it. You need to eat it cold because chemically it's polyunsaturated, meaning when you cook with it, it's not stable. Anyway, I never have enough time to fully explain things on the show, but I think I've written some blogs about it. Anyway. The ratio of oil to vinegar for beans is 1 to 1. You don't need as much oil for a bean marinade. You can be a little bit heavier with the vinegar. And I'm using balsamic, and then I've got a little bit of maple syrup here to counter the mustard. So, get my little whisk in here. I'm not adding salt to this dressing because there is salt in the mustard. You can see it's getting nice and thick. Mustard is a great thing to add to a dressing to make it a little bit thicker. And then the reaction of the oil and the vinegar thickens things as well. It's gonna be great on our lentils. Okay, it is very important to taste your dressing before you throw it all over your lentils. So just drop a drop here. Nice. All right, finishing touch for my dressing, I have some fresh thyme that I have chopped up. If you don't have access to fresh, dried is fine as well. Just if you're putting the dried in, give it a little pinch with your finger to bring the flavor out of the thyme. One last little stir here. And now all you gotta do is wait for your lentils and beets to finish cooking and wash some fresh spinach, and then we'll be ready to put everything together. So the lentils have finished cooking, and I'll just drain off any extra water that might be left on there. Okay. And what I'm gonna do is put these greens in first. I've got some chopped up spinach. And I'm putting this into the hot lentils because I want it to wilt a little bit. And hopefully the steam from the lentils will get that spinach wilted just slightly. Once your beets are cooked to your liking, they should be fairly easy to peel and chop up. See how that peel just comes off very thin if I just scrape it with the knife? That's the nice thing about peeling beets when they're cooked. And you can now get rid of that little rat tail. So chop up your beets and get them stirred in with the lentils and the spinach. Your cutting board would probably look like a massacre after cutting up beets, but that's okay. Now, one thing to keep in mind with this dish is that although lentils and spinach have good amounts of calcium in them, beets and spinach, when raw, also have something called oxalic acid, which prevents your body from absorbing the calcium properly. So while I do eat spinach and beets raw sometimes, it's also good to have them cooked because otherwise they can interfere with the calcium levels in your body. We all know calcium, important for bones, teeth, many other purposes. All right, now the fun part is putting the dressing on. So just pour this right over. And sometimes to get the end of the dressing out of the bowl, I take some food and use the food as a spatula. There you go. There's a tip you won't get anywhere else. Use your food as a spatula. Okay, get a little bit on my plate. You can see it's a beautiful red color from the beets. And I'm gonna top mine off with some fresh sprouts. I hope you enjoy our maple Dijon lentils. You can find the recipe at healthyveganrecipes.net. I'm Heather, and this is Freshly Served.